All right, everybody, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome to another day of Read Rich and Righteous. We're reading Rich and Righteous Spiritual Secrets to Mastering Money, Manifestation, and Your Mind. I'm so excited to be here. Oh, my goodness. I just had one of the greatest weekends of my life. It was Generational Wealth Conference. We ended up having 1,800 people there. There were 1,500 people live, and then there were another 300 people on live stream. It was absolutely amazing. We were here in Atlanta at the Georgia International Convention Center. You can see my stories on Instagram for just some of the highlights of the weekend. It was absolutely amazing, y'all. So if you can hear it, you probably can hear it in my voice. You can probably hear it in my voice. I was using my voice a lot. I was on stage, sharing the game and giving the wisdom to folks. And so excited to have you here for another day of Read Rich and Righteous. One thing that's key to manifestation is consistency. It's not always consistency in just action, but it's consistency in belief. And so with that, I'm excited to have you here. And let's get it in. Let's get it in. Hold on, let me check something. Looks like YouTube might not be working this morning. Let me check something real quick. I don't see YouTube working. Let's see. Is YouTube working this morning? 1 second. Testing. Wonder why YouTube is not working this morning. That's all right. We're gonna keep it pushing anyways. Let me try to edit real quick. Let me try to see something real quick. I don't see. Oh yeah, we were turned up. So I didn't just lose my voice from speaking on stage. We were turned up. Oh, this is why. All right, you should now be able to. All right, cancel. Let me see. YouTubers. Let's see. All right, cool. People should be coming into YouTube now. I accidentally had it on private. All right, so we finished last week with the 5 levels of prayer. That was absolutely powerful. Today we are on page 210, and we are going over possess money without money possessing you. Possess money without money possessing you. This is a really important chapter because somehow, some way, we've allowed this flat piece of green cotton to have power over us, and we need to know how to hold money. So we actually in chapter commandment number 6. We're in money commandment number 6, which is how the rich and righteous hold money and wealth. Okay, we saving it versus a stash. How the rich and righteous hold money and wealth. So that's what we're focused on. And we're going to talk about how to possess money without money possessing you. If you haven't got the book already, you can go to moneyandmanifestation.com. Again, that's moneyandmanifestation.com. And you, for $100, you get 5 copies, one for you, 4 for you to give away. The reason you do that, and the reason it's set up that way, is to stimulate your personal economy by putting you in a state of giving immediately, right? As you give, so you shall receive. The reason you're not receiving enough is because you're not giving enough. And so that's why it is designed that way. People always ask me, Jullien, can I buy one book? No, that is just buying it for you. And anytime you just do something for you, there is a level of self-love and self-care when we just need to do things for ourselves. But if we really want to create wealth, we have to give and create value for others. And so that's why it's designed that way. Of course, when you buy this set of 5, you also get the rituals workbook, which will allow you to do the exercises that are at the end of each chapter, and you will get the audiobook as well. But of course, we're reading it here. We've been reading together for almost 8 weeks now. It's been absolutely amazing. We started in November. We're reading about 4 to 8 pages a day, and we're reading about 4 to 8 pages a day, and it's just been a blessing. And this reading will likely take us all the way through the end of February and maybe into early March. Right? I see you, Sarah. I see you, Booker T. I see my MFM family members here. Was this weekend amazing, y'all? Was this weekend amazing? Oh my goodness. Both of them blessed the stage and did absolutely amazing. Rob was on Saturday. Booker T was on Sunday. He kicked us off. So, oh my goodness, it was a family affair. It was a reunion, y'all. All the people who have helped me build my wealth, and when I talk about wealth, I'm talking about all the different versions of wealth. Were there. It was just love. It was family. It was absolutely amazing. So make sure you don't miss that next year. Make sure you don't miss that next year. All right, we'll likely be right back here in Atlanta at the Georgia International Convention Center on MLK weekend. All right. So again, you probably hear the hoarseness in my voice because it was lit. And hey Taisha, it's good to see you. Good to see you. All right. All right, cool. So let's get it in. Can Breeze, if you didn't get the audiobook, just email support at thefreedomschool.com. If you purchased and you did not get your audiobook, email support at thefreedomschool.com. My team gets back on today, they have off. But when they get back on Tuesday, they'll take care of you. Okay. Again, that's support at thefreedomschool.com. All right. So we're on page 210 right now. We got a few less people here today because a lot of people are traveling back home. A lot of people are traveling back home. So we have less people today. But I said, I want to demonstrate consistency for you all. I want to show you what consistency looks like. And even though my voice is hoarse, even though I was going hard in a happy way all weekend. I just want to show you what consistency looks like, and I'm going to do my best to be here every weekday at 8:30 a.m. In order to get to the finish. Now, when we think about consistency, a lot of you think you're inconsistent, right? A lot of you think you're inconsistent, but the reality is you show up to your job on time every weekday. You're consistent. You're just not consistent in the areas that you desire, that you want to manifest in. So you know what consistency looks like. You do it often. You're just not doing it in ways that are moving you towards the life that you desire. Okay. So we need to change that, and we will. This chapter is short. It's only 3 pages. So I think that's fitting for today, given everybody needing to rest, me needing to rest my voice and things of that nature. So let's proceed. So again, we're on page 10. If you're just joining us for the first time, we're reading Rich and Righteous, Spiritual Secrets, Mastering Money, Manifestation in Your Mind. If Instagram messes up for any reason, please come over to YouTube. And if YouTube messes up for any reason, please go over to Instagram. Okay. So the scripture for the day is, I tell you the truth. It is hard for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Again, I tell you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven, kingdom of God. That's Matthew 19:24. Okay. You can have material wealth and be spiritually poor. You can have material wealth and be spiritually poor, as Matthew 19:24 suggests. Jesus was not saying that being rich is bad. This is how this scripture gets misinterpreted. People perceive this as, oh, being rich is a bad thing. You can never get to heaven if you are rich. Okay. This is one of those scriptures that gets twisted, just like the money is the root of all evil. No, it says the love of money is the root of all evil. And this scripture is saying the same exact thing, but in a different way. Okay. The rich man Jesus was referring to was materially rich, but he was possessed by his possessions. He was materially rich, but he was possessed by his possessions. Therefore, it would be hard for him to enter the kingdom of heaven, which means he missed the mark, otherwise known as sin. Okay. Rich is not just having money, it is also money not having you. I want to repeat that. Rich is not just having money, it is also money not having you. There are so many people who have become slaves to this. This is all they think about, right? This is why Jesus overturned the tables. The allegory of Jesus overturning the tables in the temple was that our mind, our temple, is not supposed to be focused on money changing all the time. Okay? That's supposed to be a house of prayer up here. The temple is supposed to be a house of prayer. It is not supposed to be a place where money changer exist, where we're always thinking about how to make more money or the bills we got to pay, etc. But that's what most people's thought life is about. It's about money. How do we give this flat green cotton so much power over our lives to dictate almost every single decision that we have on a daily basis, right? So that's what this is saying. Rich is not just having money, it is also money not having you. Okay. Someone once said, with money, you can buy a house, but not a home. With money, you can buy a clock, but not time. With money, you can buy a bed, but not sleep. With money, you can buy a gun, but not peace. There are things that you cannot buy with material wealth, right? So a lot of the things that we use money to get, they are actually substitutes for the real feeling that we're trying to get to. A lot of the things that we use money to get, right, are substitutes, okay, are substitutes for what we're truly trying to get to. There are things that you cannot buy with material wealth. Some people are so poor that all they have is money, which is the lowest yielding asset in the entire world. They don't have any more valuable things that money can't buy, like love, joy, family, time, self esteem, righteousness, peace of mind, and heaven on earth. These are the things that money cannot buy. Now, there's a base level of money that makes it easier to obtain these other things. Okay. There's some basic needs that have to be met financially, from food, clothes, and shelter, right? But once we reach that base level, it's not about how much money can I make and is my happiness and joy going to increase as my money increases? No, that's a false correlation that people have in their mind, that my happiness, my joy, my peace of mind, all these things are going to, the amount of love I have for others and myself is going to increase when as my money increases. There's not a direct correlation there. There is a base level that you need, okay, in order to make it easier to obtain these things. But once you achieve that base level, okay, I'm finding that you can have all those things that you desire easily. Okay, so listen to this very carefully, family. You can secure the bag and still be insecure. You can secure the bag and still be insecure. All right. True financial security is not just having a lot of money. Many people with money are some of the most insecure people. Okay. We see this often with celebrities, but celebrities are no different than anyone else. It is just that their life is on public display. Many people believe that external financial security will cover up or compensate for their insecurities. It does not. In fact, money can exacerbate one's insecurities. Imagine working hard all your life thinking that money would make you happy, only to get there and still feel unhappy. I'm going to repeat that. Imagine working hard all your life thinking that money would make you happy, only to get there and still feel unhappy. On second thought, don't imagine that, since we know the power of our imagination. Okay? Don't think about that anymore. All right? I don't want you to imagine that. I don't want you to use the creative power in your mind, right? In your right brain. I don't want you to use your creative power to imagine that. But there are people who spend their entire life chasing money, hoping that it will get them something or give them a feeling, and then they get there and they don't have it, and now their life is gone, but they have this flat green cotton. Their life is gone, their greatest life force energy is gone, but they have this flat green cotton. They have stacks of it. In many cases, those people would trade all this flat green cotton to get that life force energy back. Okay? We're on page 211. True financial security is knowing the true source of your wealth and how to access it on demand whenever you desire. Even if you were to lose everything for some odd reason, you may be set back, but you would know exactly how to recreate the wealth you had before and more because of your understanding of financial spirituality. What did Jay-Z say, y'all? Put me anywhere on God's green earth and I'll triple my worth. Put me anywhere on God's green earth and I'll triple my worth. You see, a lot of people think that financial security is having a lot of money in their bank account. That's actually financial insecurity. That's actually financial insecurity. Here's why. Because you are so insecure, you don't know how to make that money operate or multiply at a greater rate than 0.03%, which is the savings rate you're getting in your savings account. So on the surface level, it looks like you have financial security because you have a lot of money in a bank account. But we also know that with inflation, you're losing 8% of that every single year at these rates. Okay. So having money in a bank account beyond your emergency fund is actually financial insecurity. It's a flip, y'all. A lot of the things that you've been taught in the American dream are the exact opposite. Having a lot of money is financial insecurity. Because if you were truly financially secure, you would be comfortable releasing this and circulating it and investing it. That is true financial security because I know my true source. Okay. we're going to get to later on in the week, we're going to get into the one source, multiple streams. That's one of the chapters that we're going to get into this week. One source, multiple streams. Okay. As 1 Samuel 2:7 says, the Lord sends poverty and wealth. He humbles and he exalts. True wealth comes from staying tapped into a source that never taps out. True wealth comes from tapping into a source that never taps out. If you know you are plugged in to an electrical supply that will never run out, you feel 100% secure. You feel 100% secure because you're tapped into an infinite supply. But when you're tapped into something that is limited, that is not infinite, then that's where your insecurity comes from. So a lot of you, even though you're making decent money on the corporate plantation, you feel insecure because you know that company is not an infinite source. That company may be doing well in the stock market, the CEO and the company itself may be profiting, but you know that it's not an infinite source. So even though that company is doing well, it could even be your own company that's doing well. My company's doing well. I'm tapped into it. But even beyond the multifamily movement, I'm tapped into a greater source than that. Multifamily movement is just one of the streams that comes from that one true source. True wealth comes from staying tapped into a source that never taps out. This keeps me humble, for I know that it is God who is exalting me, not myself. And when I exalt God, wealth is part of the package, it can do more good, so that I can do more good for God, so that I can do more good for God. Okay, so wealth is just part of the package when you stay tapped in to that one infinite source. Wealth is just part of the package, family, because abundance is your birthright. How do you know? Because God is abundant. Everything that God creates is abundant. The number of human beings on this earth. The way you plant a seed, it grows a tree, which grows fruit, which has more seed in it. This is of God. And so if you look at the characteristics of God, the way God creates, God is abundant. So therefore, as a child of God, you must be abundant as well. Abundance is your birthright, and that's what we are seeking to step into, that reality. Okay? We're on page 211. We have a page and a half left. A lot of people with material wealth continue to chase money out of fear. Out of fear. Okay. See, I've been blessed with a journey to, even though my parents were well off with middle class, upper middle class jobs as doctors, right? Um, they didn't really, my mother, she lost a lot of her wealth as a result of addiction. And my dad is a Scrooge. He's a Scrooge. So I even had Pro Wings. I was wearing Pro Wings in junior high school from Payless, y'all. Not even real K Swiss. Pro Wings. I think they had 4 lines. K Swiss had like 3 lines, right? I had Pro Wings. My dad didn't buy me nothing. I had 5 outfits, right? So I'm grateful for that though, because I experienced what it was like to have very little, and now in my life I've been able to experience real abundance, and so now I can let you know, after being and traveling along the entire spectrum, okay, along the entire spectrum, what happens over here to prepare you now, because I know you're all going to get there. Okay. I'm able to prepare you now because I know you're eventually going to get there if you stick, because these are universal laws. So these same universal laws that I'm sharing with you, they work just the same for you. The laws of aerodynamics work for Delta in the same way they work for Southwest, in the same way they work for Spirit, in the same way they work for United Airlines. The laws of aerodynamics they're non-judgmental. They're laws. It doesn't matter who's using them. So I know that when you embrace these laws in your life, okay, then abundance will come to you in its own way. All right. So that's what I'm trying to teach you, is these unseen laws so that you can apply them and use them intentionally. Okay. Intentionally. All right. So a lot of people with material wealth continue to chase money out of fear. They may be running from a childhood of poverty, or feel they got lucky based on who they were born unto. Or perhaps they got into the right industry or company at the right time, or their parents left them a significant life insurance policy, or they won the lottery or a legal case. When you're lucky, listen to this. When you're lucky, you don't know the laws, and therefore you don't know if you could replicate success if you lost it all. That is insecurity, family. Some people are up right now, but if they feel they got it through luck, then they're still in fear because they know that if they lost it, they could not replicate it because they don't understand the laws that got them the wealth in the first place. If I can stand in the confidence and knowingness that I know the universal laws, okay? And if I were to lose this material wealth right now, I could go back and replicate it all again in due time. Put me anywhere on God's green earth and I'll triple my worth because of my spirit, because of who I am, because of my understanding of these universal laws. You could take it all away and I could recreate it. You could take it all away and I could recreate it. And many rags to riches stories also have uh, uh, riches to rags story. And the true test of character for some people in their journey and their experience here on earth is to actually gain it, lose it, and gain it back at an even greater way. That really shows you that's one way. You know, we don't all have to go through that experience, but that's one way of showing you who you truly are. To gain something, lose it, and then get it back at an even greater level. That's a very, very powerful demonstration. Then you know it was, it was the God in you. Okay. It wasn't luck. If you're able to do it once, that could be luck. But if you're able to replicate it twice or three times or four times, you know it's not luck. You know that you understand and that you've mastered this game. Getting anything once can be luck. But to do it twice, to do it three times, to do it four times, that's not luck anymore, family. That is you mastering the laws. Okay. So when you're lucky, you don't know the laws, and therefore you don't know if you could replicate success if you lost it all. It is one thing to have acquired wealth. It is another thing to truly understand how to acquire wealth so much that you can replicate it if you had to start over with nothing. When you don't understand how wealth works, that could lead to a scarcity mindset and fear of loss because you don't know your wealth's true source. Most successful people default to hard work as the reason for their wealth when they can't see the hidden mechanics, the metaphysics and the metaphysics that resulted in their abundance. Okay, so everybody says, everybody who's been successful says, "Oh, it's hard work. It's just I got here through hard work." Man, you didn't work harder than this person over here. Okay, hard work is just a default statement that successful people use to categorize the unseen. Hard work is a default general statement that they use to justify how they got to where they got without because they can't understand the universal laws. So they just wrap it up in these two words, which is hard work. And so now everybody else who's trying to be successful is like, oh, I just got to work harder. But we already know, family, that you cannot multiply your wealth by 10 by working 10 times more hours. You cannot get from 100,000 to $1 million by working 10 times harder. You're working 40 hours a week right now. To get, if it was just about hard work, you could get there by working 400 hours a week. But the problem is there's not 400 hours in a week. So it can't just be hard work that gets you to multiply, right? There has to be something else that you tap into. Did you all understand that? Did you all understand that? Okay. So successful people, when they don't understand the universal laws that got them there, okay, because you can use the universal laws without awareness, okay, and you can luck your way into success and abundance, okay. But when you don't understand it and you're trying to explain, oh, so how did you become so successful? I just worked harder than everybody else. No, you didn't, family. There are people right around you who are working just as hard as you. So somehow, some way, you tapped into the universal laws without knowing, and therefore, when you're being interviewed or on the microphone, you can't explain it because these are unseen laws. You didn't recognize that you were actually utilizing some of these unseen laws that helped you. It's like a little boy or a girl making a paper airplane, and for some reason, their paper airplane goes further than everybody else's, but they can't explain why. They can't explain why, but in their design of their paper airplane, they tapped into some laws of aerodynamics that they were not fully aware of because of the way they design their airplanes, with the way they design their wings or the fins on their wings, or that they put some heaviness at the front of their airplane. They didn't know that they were tapping into the laws of aerodynamics, but they were. And so when they threw their airplane, okay, and it went further than everybody else's, everybody said, "How'd you do it?" They say, I'm just a better airplane designer than everybody else. I worked harder than everybody else. No, you tapped into some universal laws unknowingly. Everybody else could have tapped into those same laws. Those laws are not respecters of persons. They are just laws, period. And if the other candidates or the other competitors would have understood the laws, they could have done the exact same thing with their airplane design. So you have to be very careful when you're hearing, even though this person has achieved success, if they just try to categorize it into, oh, I just worked harder than everybody else. No, you didn't, family. There are actually people who worked harder than you. But there were some universal laws that you were able to align with unknowingly that actually caused you to catapult into a level of success that the other person did not. Perhaps they were working hard, but they had a scarcity mindset. Perhaps they were working really hard, but they actually didn't believe in themselves, right? So this is what we have to be careful when, even when we're taking advice from successful people, we have to be careful, especially if they give us blanket general statements of, oh, I just worked harder than everybody else. Because then you leave that conversation like, okay, I just got to work harder. And now you're working harder, but you're burnt out and you're not achieving any additional success for working harder because it was more to that. And so, what we're trying to uncover and reveal, what I'm trying to reveal to you, is the unseen universal laws that you can tap into and be in alignment with that will catapult your success without you necessarily working any harder in the physical realm, without you trading more time for money. Is this making sense? So, most successful people default to hard work as their reason for their wealth when they can't see the hidden mechanics and the metaphysics that resulted in their abundance. When you know the laws, you can enjoy your abundance, and your joy doesn't fluctuate up and down with the economy or your bank account. I'm so happy for the abundance any materially rich person has been able to manifest or was born into. I celebrate abundance in all forms. I celebrate abundance in all forms. I never hate on abundance, y'all. Okay? There is more than enough for all of us, and someone else's having doesn't take away from anyone else's ability to have. Someone else's having doesn't take away from anyone else's ability to have. Chris Rock has, I make a lot of dating jokes, right? And, Chris Rock has this dating joke about you ladies out there, right? I don't know if you saw it. It was funny. And I'm not saying it's true, right? But I remember it and I was just laughing so hard. He was like, when brothers, when we see our homeboy with a nice lady, he'd be like, I want a woman just like her. Okay. So that statement, right, is like, okay, there's got to be another woman out there like her, or not just even just one. There's many out there just like her. But when women, when they see a guy that they want, when they see their homegirl with a guy that they want, they like, I want him. How many of you saw that, y'all? How many of you saw that? Okay, I'm not saying it's true. I'm not. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just bringing it up as a funny example. I'm just bringing it up as a funny example, right? So in that situation, that group of women is coming from scarcity consciousness, right? But we want to celebrate abundance. If, especially in the dating realm, one of the things that I say is, if I exist, then she exists. If I exist, then she exists. If you exist, then he exists, right? There has to be somebody out there who matches your vibrational frequency, but you got to get beyond the visual. We're looking for a vibrational match, not a visual match. That's where we've been misled in the dating realm. We're looking for a vibrational match, not just a visual match. And what you'll find is that when you find a vibrational match, they will be visually beautiful to you. When you find a vibrational match, they will be visually beautiful to you. Why? Because where's beauty? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And so when that vibrational match makes you feel some kind of way, you will perceive this person as absolutely beautiful. But if you lead with your two eyes, right, and you're looking based on what the world tells you is beauty, you're going to miss the mark. You will sin in the dating realm. That's what sin means, is to miss the mark. And many of us have gone through that journey, myself included, of leading with my eyes as opposed to leading and feeling into vibration. Okay? This is why profile pictures, Instagram profile pictures and things of that nature, they don't capture it all. If you are on somebody's Instagram profile, then go look at what they're saying. Go look at what they're doing. Go look at the quotes that they're posting. Go look at the energy that transmits from the smile in their photos. Okay? Go look at some of the comments that they're making on other people's posts. Some of you don't even realize from a dating standpoint, you are repelling the person that you desire. When they come to your Instagram profile, you are repelling the person that you desire. Listen to the song choices that they put behind their videos and things of that nature. You know, if a woman has a song like "fuck these niggas," you think that's going to attract the dude that you want? A dude has a song or is reposted something about F these HOES. You think that's going to attract the person that you desire? We got to get beyond the visual match. Okay. We were looking for a vibrational match first, right? And what you'll find is that when there's the vibration is a match, then the visual will also be beautiful. That's been my experience. Okay. And once I change my ways. All right. So y'all with me? All right. Cool. So go to 100 dope men or 100 dope women if you if you know you need to change your ways. Go to 100 dope men or 100 dope women.com and fill out that form because that is launching in February. That's right around the corner. We're about a month away from that. So we have hundreds of people who have signed up for that so far. So if you know you need to get out of these dating streets and approach this game differently, and you are looking for your other whole, not your other half, but your other whole, go to 100dopemen.com or 100dopewomen.com. Yo, and I'm gonna just tell the fellas here right now, we got a whole bunch of amazing women that are ready to go through this process, but we got a shortage of brothers. Okay. Now we would like to match those 100 dope men with those 100 dope women, but for the fellas, if we got to go with the ladies first, and then say, here are women who have been through a whole healing process, who understand themselves, who don't need you to love them, who actually have can generate self love from themselves, but are looking for somebody to walk through this life with, y'all gonna have to go through a process because we're gonna give them a game plan and a blueprint to put y'all through in order to get there. So, fellas, if y'all really serious about this game, I'm telling you right now, go to 100dopemen.com. I'm telling you right now. I've been reading these surveys from these amazing human beings, these dope souls. We've attracted an amazing group. Now, we still all got healing to do, myself included. Okay. But these are people who are willing to do the work. You go meet somebody at the club, how do you know they're willing to do the work? How you know they're willing to do the work? At the club, you don't know who you meeting. You meeting the representative. All kinds of makeup, all kinds of fake this, fake that, fake this. No, these are women who are committed to doing the work. And by the time Ra and Kazi are done with them, these are going to be people who are ready to be wives. And we also want to be developing men who are ready to be husbands. You know, you're not just born a wife, right? You know, you're not just born a husband. That's what people think, family. You think, oh, yeah, I just deserve to be a wife. I deserve to be a husband. Who said that? Who told you that? Who lied to you? Who lied to you? There's training that is needed in order to step into that. You aren't just born a wife or born a husband just because you feel lonely or you want somebody. That doesn't qualify you to be a wife or a husband. So I'm just letting the fellas know right now, right? I'm just letting it's lopsided. And the fellas that do go through this process, yeah, I'm gonna just leave it there. Let me get back to my reading real quick, y'all. All right. So I'm so happy for the abundance in any materially rich person has been able to manifest or was born into. There is more than enough for us all, and someone else's having doesn't take away from anyone else's ability to have. The true power is learning how to duplicate the wealth you've already acquired on demand by understanding the invisible universal laws of financial spirituality and wealth at work. Not understanding these laws can result in a full bank account, but an empty soul, because worry and possessiveness about money can eat away at your joy internally. Most millionaires still worry about money. They still worry about retirement, their kids' education costs, healthcare costs, mortgages, and the rising cost of living due to inflation, just like everyone else. Whether we understand the unseen law of gravity or not, it is still at work. You can't touch gravity, but you can see it by the result it creates in when you throw something and it eventually hits the ground. Aware of the physical law of gravity, the Wright brothers learn how to work with this unseen law by leveraging laws of aerodynamics that transcend the law of gravity. So there is a law of gravity that naturally brings things down at, what is it, 9.2 meters per second or something like that. Okay. There is a law of gravity. And the Wright brothers said, how do we transcend this law of gravity? So even when you talk about laws, there are laws that trump or transcend other laws. So the laws of aerodynamics, I'm sitting here near the Atlanta airport right now, and I see these big airplanes that weigh tons, with tons of people and tons of luggage, transcending the law of gravity. So you have to know how to tap in to the higher laws that transcend the lower level laws. Okay. So, aware of the physical law of gravity, the Wright brothers learned how to work with this unseen law by leveraging the laws of aerodynamics that transcend the law of gravity. To the degree we understand the laws, we can make sure that they are working for us instead of against us. Because you don't understand the laws, in many cases, they're working against you. Okay. So when people say life is working against me, no, it's not that life is working against you. Okay. The law never works against us. The law never works against us. It is indifferent. It only feels like it is against us when we are truly out of alignment with it. I want to repeat that. To the degree that we understand the laws, we can make sure that they are working for us instead of against us. Actually, the law never works against us. It is indifferent. It isn't trying to keep you down in poverty. Okay. It only feels like it is against us when we are out of alignment with it. If I'm in alignment with the laws of aerodynamics and I'm just checking off the boxes, okay, my wings are this long, I have this much thrust, etc., I have to fly. When an airplane is in alignment with the laws of aerodynamics, it has to fly. The laws of aerodynamics, like, no, I'm not going to let that plane fly. Nope, that plane, I'm not going to let that plane fly. If you check off the boxes on the laws of aerodynamics with thrust, the wings, the weight, and everything like that, the airplane has to fly. The law isn't picking and choosing. It's not picking and choosing. All right. So when you understand the laws and you check off the boxes that align with these higher laws, then guess what? Wealth has to come to you into your experience. Wealth has to come into your experience. It's not, oh, I got lucky, or I did this right, or it's my personality. No, wealth has to come into your experience if you're in alignment with the laws. Okay? It is indifferent. Type this: the law is indifferent. The law is indifferent. The law is indifferent. And there are even metaphysicians that will tell you that the law is actually the Lord. The law, these laws actually are the Lord. The Lord or the law. The Lord and the law, they're indifferent. Even in the Bible, it says that God is no respecter of persons. It's not a respecter of persons. Just like shade, right? When a tree is providing shade, does it care if you're a criminal or if you are Mother Teresa? If you are going to get a tree is offering shade, it does not care if you are a criminal or if you are Mother Teresa. It is indifferent. And the law works in the same way. This is why so many people who aren't necessarily righteous, I believe they're righteous at their core, but they have selfish motives, which actually leads them to not living a righteous life. They understand the laws better than we as the righteous do. They understand. You wonder why so many quote unquote people who are doing bad things have wealth is because the laws are indifferent, family. That's why. And those who don't have righteous motives, they are using the law and understand the law at a greater level than we do. So this is why we are here. This is why we are here. They understand the laws at a higher level than we do. And so we are and shifting our consciousness so that we understand the law equally or even better than they do, so that the rich can become righteous. Okay? All right. So that concludes our reading for today. Tomorrow we will be back here on page 213, and we'll be reading You Are a Bank. You Are a Bank. That section is about 5 pages. So we'll be reading that tomorrow. So set a phone alarm for 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Set a phone alarm for 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will be right back here reading Rich and Righteous. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. We are beyond the halfway mark. The book is 400 and I think 4 or 5 pages, and we are now on page 213. And many of you have been here since the beginning, which is absolutely beautiful. At Generational Wealth Conference, many people were telling me how this reading has blessed their life. You know, it's one thing to read the book yourself, it's one thing to listen to the audiobook, but they said that it is a completely different experience to read the book in community and actually hear me be able to go in more depth beyond just the text as I read it. And so I'm just so glad that Spirit nudged me about 2 months ago and said, Julian, just read your book out loud. In fact, it was almost exactly 2 months ago to date. I think it was November 15th that we started. And this has been an absolute amazing journey. I'm so glad that this is allowing this content and this book to penetrate you in a deeper way. My goal was never just to get this book in your hands. Okay. I don't care how many books I sold. The goal is to get the book in your head and your heart. Getting these principles in your head and heart is what's going to lead to the transformation. I'm not just here to sell books. Okay. I'm here to get this in your head and your heart. And this is why I'm here reading it to you. When is the last time you had an adult author read a book to you, their own book? Because all they care about is being on a bestsellers list. They don't care if the people actually read the book. Okay. The last time I had somebody read a book to me was probably some children's author came to my library in third grade or something like that. Okay. I care about this getting into your head, into your heart, your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. Okay. We call it your heart mind. And we want our heart mind to be aligned. For many of us, our heart is out of alignment with our head. And so we want to plant these seeds in the conscious mind, then take them down into the subconscious. And then when we get that, then it becomes habitual. It just becomes a part of our being. And we know when we shift our being changes our doing, and our doing changes our having. Most people try to get rich by focusing on what they have, right? And what they do. We focus on being first. It's not about how, it's about who. Okay. It's not about how to get money, right? It's about who you must become for money to come to you. Thy kingdom come. When thy kingdom come, it means that you don't have to go anywhere. When you call an Uber, you don't have to move. It comes to you, right? So we are focused on the being. We are focused on becoming magnets. And even when you think about what they call somebody who has a large business, they call them a business what? A business magnet. They spell it differently, but it's the same exact word. A business magnet. That person has become magnetic to money, and it is allowing them to create and serve at a very high level. That is what we are seeking to become. We are focused on becoming more attractive and magnetic, not attractive with anything external. I don't care how you look in the mirror, family. What matters is how you feel in the mirror. I don't care how you look in the mirror. What matters is how you feel in the mirror. Some of the wealthiest people in the world ain't cute. Jay-Z even said it in the song. Well, I forgot what the lyric was. Anybody remember what the lyric? He's like, I forgot. He was talking about he ain't the cutest, but I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. Some of the wealthiest people ain't attractive physically, because it's not about how you look in the mirror. It's about how you feel in the mirror. How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about your life? Do you feel that you're a child of God? Do you feel that abundance is your birthright? All right. So with that, I will see you here next tomorrow, excuse me. And for those of you who have not got the book yet, you can go to moneyandmanifestation.com. Again, that's moneyandmanifestation.com. Okay, moneyandmanifestation.com to get the book. We also have our private Facebook group now. And that is facebook.com /groups rich and righteous. So that's where we can continue the conversation throughout the week. And then for those of you who don't have the $100 right now to get a book for yourself and others, what you can do is you can go into the Facebook group and you can actually ask for a book. But again, we don't ask from a place of neediness. We ask from a place of genuine need. And what neediness is a victim consciousness, right? The genuine need is I need a book because I know it will transform my life. I will read it. And then when I am up, when I have entered into abundance, I will pay it forward. I will buy a set of 5 and I will do the same thing that you did for me. That's coming from a place of genuine need. For whatever reason, I don't have $100 right now. I can't pay $100 for a book right now. Okay. But I know I need this to get out of my current situation. So we're asking from a place of genuine need, not neediness, not begging, not, oh, woe is me. We don't need to hear any sob story. We don't need to hear anything like that. Okay. If it's a genuine need, okay. And then what you do is you give what you give what you can. So you say, look, I will pay for shipping for anybody who has an extra book. I will cash app you $10 if you be generous enough to send me a book. There are hundreds of people here who have already bought the book. Okay. And they are looking for somebody who needs it, somebody who will be blessed by it. And so that's what you can use a Facebook group for. It's easier here to do in Instagram because you can DM somebody than it is in YouTube. So again, go to the Facebook group if you need a book, and also just go there to share your insights, share your takeaways. I would love to hear how this is blessing you. People were actually able to tell me at Generational Wealth Conference how this reading has been blessing them. I would love to hear from you, whether that's in the Facebook group, whether that's through DM. I've had people share their transformational stories with me. So I love to hear the feedback, family. I know I'm talking to you, and there's no way that you talk back in this moment. But I would love to hear your feedback in terms of how this experience is transforming you in your life. All right. I love you. I appreciate you. We are creating the wealthiest family in the world, and I will see you tomorrow at 8:30. All right. Much love, y'all. Peace.